Today I'm giving you final thoughts on the creation. Those of you that want to know more, want to hear somebody else talking other than me, I got Chuck Missler, Perry Stone. You're going to want to hear what they have to say about the creation. I'm also going to tell you some things where this channel is going as well. A few videos ago, I did a teaching, and some of you are aware of this. Others, this is the first teaching you're watching. You just stumbled across this channel. This is the first video in the lineup. This is how you found this video. I did it on the Trinity, the Creator, and the creation. Everybody loved and adored. They finally got to see without some rocket scientist guy explaining to them the Trinity. Now you understand the Trinity. You got to see the Creator in a way that I've never really had anybody present it to me. That's just me. But when it came to the creation, some of you split off, which was part of my last video I did on a rant. We don't know what to believe anymore when we listen to people out there that are giving us messages and teaching to us, because everybody's picked up their own camera. They're all on social media teaching us what they think God wants us to know. If you haven't watched the rant, you probably should if you can handle me getting upset and emotional. Sorry. But I have been burdened, still am. But that's not what this message is about. This message is finalizing the creation. Excuse me. 2 videos ago, I did the creation part 2. I expounded, and if you guys haven't seen it, because you didn't think you wanted to see it, some of you, we just kind of want to believe what we want to believe. If you haven't seen the creation part 2, there's a whole lot more information in that than there was in the first. Because I wanted you guys to have more information. So you should probably watch it. In fact, I'm going to put this, it's called a card. When I go like this, folks, some of you don't know what I'm doing. You're going to see right up there, now a video is going to show up. And that one's the creation part 2. And when you guys click on this, I just want to let you know, when you click on it, this video stops automatically. And then you go to the next video. When you hit, a brand new window opens up even. And then you're done watching it. All you got to do is come back and hit play again. It's real simple. You don't have to worry about stopping it. You just hit the card. You're gone. It stops this video here. New window opens. You watch the video. Come right back. It's really convenient. So anyway, the creation is going to be right up there. I'd like you to watch it if you haven't seen that yet, or if you haven't seen the first one, watch that first. In any case, these are my final thoughts. Somebody sent a link, or actually told me to watch. It was a nice lady. Told me to go watch Chuck Missler. And that Chuck was preaching along the same lines as what I was saying. Now, I've had this message for over 35 years, folks. 35 years. I don't go look at what other people say. I don't know what's out there. That's what makes it sometimes kind of funny. I'm just giving a message. And then people sometimes, you tell me to go look here and watch this, and that's cool. And I do. I don't ever ignore you guys. When I got over that, I thought, well, what am I looking for? Because I didn't get a link. I went and I found a couple videos on Chuck Missler talking about the creation. And where I became dumbfounded, and actually I thought it was kind of funny, there is a name for this, folks. I didn't know that. It's called the gap theory. And I find it funny that I've seen this for I don't know how long. I guess 35 years I've known this. But I've never researched what anybody else said. I never even thought about it. And so when somebody says, go check out Chuck Missler, and he's calling it the gap theory, I'm like, wow, this is cool. There's a name to this thing. So I'm going to give you guys a little taste of what I saw in his video. I want to bring out one point here. I'm not going to rehash what I've already talked about in video number 2, creation part 2, or the first. So this is all new. That's why it's only final thoughts. I want to bring out the point here, folks. Note one thing when you're watching this, because I want to give a little background. We are looking in Genesis chapter 1, verse 2. You are looking at an existing world that's already there. Are you hearing this? I want you to get it. We are looking at, in verse 2, we have a world already there. It's without form and void. And I want you to see what Chuck said about what the Hebrew said. I found it fascinating.
There is a theory called the gap theory, and there's two kinds of people that deal with the gap theory. Those that dismiss it as nonsense, or those that misapply it. We're going to try to do neither. All I want to do is help you understand why some of us hold the view that there's an interval in between the first two verses of the book of Genesis. Okay? Now, when were the angels created? When did Satan fall? Is there a gap? That's the issues before us in this hour. Let's look at Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, period. If you accept that statement, you will have absolutely no problem with any other verse in the Bible. The way it reads in your Bible likely is, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. The word was turns out to be a transitive verb requiring action. It's the same verb that in Genesis chapter 19, verse 26 is used when Lot's wife became a pillar of salt. It's a transitive verb requiring action. The earth became without form and void. Haya, had become. In fact, because of the word order and the structure, it's the pluperfect form. It had become without form and void. Now, without form, tohu, without form, confused. Void, bohu, void, empty, waste, without form and void, tohu vabohu. Furthermore, there's this and up front. It's a vav, it's a conjunction, like and, except it turns out to be what we call an adversative conjunction, meaning it's not and, it's but. The vav conjunction, it's adversative. Both the Septuagint, the Greek translation 900 years before the Masoretic, and also the Latin Vulgate, both translate that as but in the English, equivalent to the but in the English. And by the way, that adversative conjunction often suggests a time delay. In Exodus 2, it is an 8-year period. In Deuteronomy 10, it represents a 38-year period. In 1 Chronicles 10, it's a 7-year period. In Ezekiel 6, it's a 58-year period. It's an adversative, but it implies a delay of some kind. So the way this gets translated properly is, but the earth had become without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Something happened between verse 1 and verse 2. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, period. But the earth had become without form and void. And the scripture is not silent about events that apparently fit into that interval, into that gap. And we find this tohu vabohu thing always used as an aftermath of judgment. Isaiah 34, Isaiah 45 that we looked at, Jeremiah 4 that we looked at.
The existing world that we're looking at in verse 2 became without form and void. I love that. I love the way that it reads, because you don't really get that the way that it, but the common sense should come into play here, folks. Now, before you all go run over and watch, because there was a whole lot more, he really gets a lot into the creation. I got to tell you guys, I wind up parting ways most of the time with everybody. I just do. I don't know why. Chuck, as best as I can tell the way he was talking, there's this theory also that's out there. And here's the theory that goes along, not with the gap theory, but that the world, instead of being created in 7 days, actually really 6, God rested on 7, it's still a week. So I just say it was created in 7 days, the whole thing's done. That these days really aren't actual 24-hour days. And this is where I part ways. People use the excuse. They say, well, look all that's in the earth, and yes, and this is what that's been half the issue I've been having to begin with. Look at the science. Look what it shows us, all this. So they say this, they say, well, because they don't believe the dating's actually right, but what about the earth was created in 7,000 years kind of stuff? Again, completely ignoring that there's already a world there, folks. And they call it prophetic days or prophetic years. Now, here's where I get lost in this, and there's some common sense I want you to see. I don't buy it, first off. You get in the verses where it says, each day it says, the evening and the morning were the first day. The evening and the morning were the second day. Tying the evening and the morning to each other, making it a 24-hour day. But that isn't in your face enough, and you want to argue that. I don't know why Chuck Missler and people don't get this. I mean, he's good at what he does. Adam was created on the sixth day. Now, I want you to get, the justification is that a day with the Lord is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is as one day. That's what. So supposedly, if you want to run at this thesis, that it could have been 7,000 plus years, a minimum 1,000-year days or plus, right? So that's how they use this. That's how they try to take the scripture. People who run with this. Adam was created on the sixth day, folks. God rests on the seventh. And on the eighth day, God is talking with Adam in the garden. Did you get that? Think about it, folks. Adam lived how long? 930 years. If God created Adam on the sixth day, by the ending of the seventh, Adam's dead. So that's just kind of a neat. That's not going to happen. And yet Adam's alive and well on the eighth. So we can't go off of this 1,000-year plus day kind of things, right? That's just you can't. And I know that's out there. People will argue with you, but they're not thinking. So sorry. I mean, I like what he said. I like the Hebrew portion. In fact, so I keep looking this up on the internet. Because I'm getting a kick out. The gap theory. And I go over and I see Perry Stone talking about the gap theory, and he expounded a little bit on what Chuck said, so I want you to see that too.
Genesis chapter 1, 1 and 2. In the beginning God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water. In a moment, I'm going to tell you about the gap theory. Genesis 1:1, God created the heavens and the earth. The word created is the Hebrew word bara, which means to make complete. It actually is a word indicating that when God made the heavens and the earth, He made the heavens and the earth in a completed form. Now, what's interesting is you come to verse 2, and here's what you read. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water. Finis Dake points out that in Hebrew it reads, and the earth became void and empty, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Now, years ago when I studied this, I saw something. Because the word deep in Hebrew is the word tehom. And it alludes to the underground chambers that are underneath the crust of the earth, especially the area where the aquifers and the water systems are, but it's underground. And I said to myself, all right, if God made everything perfect, what happened between Genesis 1:1 and 1:2?
I mean, it makes perfect sense, folks. If God did everything complete in the beginning, what in the world caused the earth to become without form and void? Well, judgment. Judgment, folks. And science even proves this. I should tell you right now, I part ways with Perry on the rest of what he had to say. But I liked the part about what he did bring out. If it was created in verse 1 perfectly and complete, then what in the world are we looking at in verse 2? Right? Well, as I said, as I saw, and the Bible suggests, Adam is to go out and replenish the earth because whatever was there before is now gone. And science shows us craters, folks, craters from meteor strikes, some massive ones that we know would have taken out all life. Now, I don't want to rehash that because I talked about that in the creation part 2. But I wanted you to hear what Perry Stone had to say and what he had to confirm, and I like it. Where I part ways with Perry. Why am I parting ways with Perry too? Like I said, it's nothing new, folks. But Perry suggests, if you go watch his video, that, and this is a long-standing argument to which I disagree, that he believes the earth, we're looking at verse 2, was without form and void because that was the fall of Satan. rather Lucifer, and the angels hitting the earth, supposedly. Folks, the Bible doesn't say that the fall, oh, he's been stripped, he's been demoted, he's damned, he and his angels, yes. But they haven't left heaven yet. Did you know that? They haven't left heaven yet. And people preach it. You can go to if you want to go, I'll read it for you. Job 1, verse 6. Listen to this. You should know the book of Job. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. I want you to hear my argument to this, because some people want to twist this. The sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord. The Lord didn't come to present himself before the sons of God. Meaning, wherever God is, the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord. Are you understanding this? And Satan was able to come also. Now, wherever God is, he's able to get to. This is in a new area. God didn't come to anybody else. No, Satan came to where God was, and so did the sons of God. Point is, Satan and his angels, at least Satan's still there. You get that right from that verse, don't you? So Satan hasn't been cast out yet. In fact, I'm going to take you over to where many of you know of a passage so well, and it's just misunderstood. You can go to Revelation chapter 12. Some of you know Revelation chapter 12. Listen to this. We're going to start verse 7. We'll do that. And there was war in heaven. This is something that's yet to happen, yet people say it's already happened. Here's the impossibilities of why it hasn't happened yet. There was war in heaven, and his angels, and Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven, any more. So they had been there. They had been there prior to this point. Are you understanding this? Then the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world, as he does today. It's me interjecting. And he was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Then I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, Now has come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ. This can't be before mankind. And the accuser of our brethren. Who's the accuser of our brethren? For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. The brethren he accused. He's the accuser. That wasn't happening. That wasn't happening before Adam. Okay, guys, it didn't happen before Adam. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb. Obviously, this wasn't a civilization before man, or before mankind, I should say. Who overcomes him before the blood of the Lamb? We do. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down to you, having great wrath, because he knoweth he hath but a short time. Now, the short time when it happened again before mankind would have it. This is one long, short time. So, obviously, this is at the ending. This is at the week, in the week. I'll say it's even at the beginning. That's when he gets cast out. In fact, I'm going to tell you guys to look for something. When this happens in war, the war in heaven, it's going to happen. It's yet to happen. I think you're going to sense it. I think you're going to feel it. Some of you are going to feel it. I think you're going to know the earth has now all of a sudden become more evil. It's going to get thicker. It's kind of hard to describe something that I believe that hasn't happened yet. That's what it's going to feel like when it happens. Anyway, what I wanted you guys I wanted you guys to understand that this thing's heavy. It'll break the glass. We're looking at a world that was already there and had become into a state of judgment, out of judgment. And even Chuck Missler hinted towards that part. And it certainly would look like, and considering science would show a lot of things that would confirm that life has been wiped out before us at other times. Certainly not since Adam. I want you to have what other people said, and I want you to know I'm not, and I thought I was kind of alone. I didn't know that this, I knew other people had to see it. I knew I couldn't be the only guy, but I didn't know it was so popular. There's a name called the gap theory. I want you guys to understand it should be important to you. Whatever the Bible says, what it has to present to us, if it's there and we know that it's real, just throw out, sometimes folks, throw out the doctrine in favor of what the Bible appears to say. Doctrine can't be so important. Your denomination can't be so important that you just tune everything out. That's going to be catastrophic where this world is going. It's going to cause a lot of people, which I tried to explain in the rant, the video I did last week. It's going to cause a lot of people to go to hell, lose their faith. I want to let you guys know one thing. So that's it for the creation. I hope you've learned a lot. If you haven't watched watch all the videos, folks. They're all good. They're all informative.